Hi, I'm Randy Crossan. Welcome to Anchor Point from Freedom's Advocate. Today we're talking about school governance and a new law introduced in Alberta that's turning heads across the country. This spring, the Alberta government brought forward Bill 51, which removes the power of school boards to suspend or remove elected trustees under internal codes of conduct. Instead, trustees will be accountable directly to voters, either through elections or, if necessary, a recall petition. Alberta's education minister said the change is about strengthening democratic accountability. The idea is simple. School trustees are elected officials, not employees, and they need to be free to speak for the people who elected them, even if those views challenge the board. Now, this change didn't come out of nowhere. It's responding to a real problem we've seen in other parts of Canada. In Ontario, for example, we've seen several trustees and even parent representatives disciplined or suspended for speaking up or for sharing community concerns that don't align with the board leadership. Let's look at a few of those cases. In Waterloo Region, trustee Mike Ramsey, a respected voice with over 30 years of experience, was suspended by his school board for 3 months. Why? Because he publicly criticized how the board chair handled a parent representation about library content. He didn't shout. He didn't break the law. He spoke out about process. The board said it was a breach of their code of conduct. Ramsey said he was doing his job, representing the public, and he took the board to court. In Eastern Ontario, school trustee Rachel Prinzen was suspended by the Hastings Prince Edward Board. The board said she shared confidential information and acted beyond her authority. But local families say she was simply talking to parents. She was present, visible, and responsive. And for that, she was shut out of board meetings for 3 months. Then there's a case of Catherine Conis, a parent council representative, not even a trustee. In May of this year, she was suspended from her elected role on school board after she respectfully asked that her personal objection to a land acknowledgement be recorded in the meeting minutes. That was it. A polite request, and she was removed. At Freedom's Advocate, we've been supporting both sides of this issue. Trustees being silenced or canceled, and school boards being removed due to government overreach. In these instances, school boards need to recognize they represent the parents who are complaining about the inappropriate decisions that they're making. And government needs to recognize the school boards and their trustees are elected by the people and are not employees of the state. These are not isolated events. They represent a trend. Trustees and parent voices are being disciplined, not for misconduct, but for disagreement. And most of those decisions are made behind closed doors. That's why Alberta's Bill 51 matters. It draws a clear line. School boards can't use internal policies to silence elected voices. Trustees will be accountable, but their accountability has to come from the public, not from majority votes within the board. If a trustee breaks the law, that's one thing. But if they simply raise a concern or represent an unpopular view, they shouldn't lose their seat for doing what they were elected to do. So how does the recall work? Under the new law, if a community truly believes a trustee is no longer fit to serve, they can initiate a recall. That takes signatures from 40% of the eligible voters in the ward. A high bar, but a democratic one. The point isn't to make trustees invincible. The point is to make sure they're answerable to the right people, the public. If we want real representation, especially when it comes to education, then the people we elect need to be able to speak without fear of removal. That's what's at stake here. So what can you do? Well, show up, watch your school board meetings. Listen to who's speaking freely and who doesn't. You don't have to agree with every trustee, but you have a right to know whether their voice is truly theirs or someone else's. At Freedom's Advocate, we do more than just talk about these issues. We fund legal cases that protect constitutional and human rights across the country. And we're serious about results. We understand that a win means the government must comply and stay within its boundaries. And a loss means the people must comply, and their overreach has been justified. We can't do this alone. We must have your help. If you believe in standing up for freedom, if you want to help keep the government in check where it matters the most, in the courts, then partner with us. Whether it's a one-time donation or ongoing monthly support, every contribution helps us keep fighting and keep winning. Visit freedomsadvocate.ca to get involved. If you want to explore more about these stories or stay connected, visit us at freedomsadvocate.ca. I'm Randy Crossan. This has been Anchor Point. See you next time.